Hello.
Hello.
Love it.
Jim Vorse is here too.
Hey, Jim.
Hey.
Laura, do you want to make me the moderator?
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Let me say one thing to Jim. Jim, since I'm the last person that Newton saw, I would like to be the first person that he sees.
That's awesome. Thank you for the full circle.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's only fair that I'm the first and last. Last and first.
That's awesome. Thank you.
He deserves the best, All right, Catherine, I'm making you the host. Wait. Make host. Wait, what?
I'm going to call Nudie. Hold on.
Oh, good. Do it. I want to see the video of him. My bun looks weird. It's like off center. Nudie, come here. Catherine, have you ever seen this cat? He's literally a gigantic beast. He's so beautiful. He's fluffy. He's beautiful. He's got a big butt.
So I'm trying to unmute Jim.
There he is.
There he is.
I was consciously. I didn't want to be. Oh.
Okay. Well, now I have it so that anyone who enters the room will automatically be muted.
Nudie.
That's hello, Nudie. Sir. Oh God. Look at that beautiful tiger of a cat. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. Oh, he's perfection.
He also comes like a little doggy when I call him.
God, is that the most beautiful cat you've ever seen? Because it really is. I love your face, and I want to hug you, and I want to kiss you.
It is a beautiful cat.
Oh God. And he's got the most beautiful belly you've ever seen. I'm gonna give Jim some pictures.
Shy when he's self-conscious about his belly, but he definitely.
He should not be. That's what makes him so cute.
But he's the only cat I've ever had that actually comes when I call him, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's the perfect cat.
That's really cute.
Look at that face. You're the baby. Look at how fluffy he is. I'm going to give you some pictures of me to hang in his room. So he can remember me always.
He remembers you. You give him more attention in a 1 hour visit than I probably do.
Oh, whatever. Hi, Tuna.
Hey, so Laura, do you know if David and Carla are calling in via Zoom, or are they calling in through their phone?
I don't know. David last time called in through his phone.
Because I don't know. How am I going to know who to unmute? You might have to monitor the chat and be like, David, who are you? And then tell me.
Yeah.
Like who to unmute. Because if it just shows up as a phone number, I'm not going to know.
I can pull up his phone number too.
And Laura, I'm going to spotlight you for the beginning of the meeting.
Huh? God, why does Joe Exotic look so weird right now?
Because he is a weird criminal.
All right, wait. I got to go check on some chicken. I'll be right back. Okay. 1 minute. Hi, honey. I see you.
Hi, Carla. Hi, Carla. Carla?
Am I on? Is that you, Laura? I see your name there.
This is Catherine, the secretary. Laura just stepped away for a second.
Okay, I can't see anything. Is this also the picture one?
Yeah, Laura put her background. Exotic. I'm about to start our PowerPoint.
Okay, mine is just says launching. That's why I came in early. So anyway, I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, happy to. Thank you for coming.
Sure.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just pulling up the PowerPoint right now. So get everything good to go. Let's see. Okay. Can you see the PowerPoint?
I
Yes.
can.
Yeah, Laura, Carla is in the room and I unmuted her.
Hey,
I see you have the Tiger King behind you.
I mean, why would I miss this opportunity to put him as my background? It's like I'm petting the tiger.
Oh gosh. Have you really watched that?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't had every time I go to watch it, I fall asleep. So
That's me with like every movie ever.
yeah. Yeah. You know what it is though? It's because you do it when at night, right when you're getting ready to go to bed, you turn on the TV.
I think I've tried to watch The Big Lebowski like 25 times, and every single time I've fallen asleep.
Okay.
Like
we
I
did
can't.
that. People get so mad at me, but
It's true. It's like so boring. Like,
yes.
I'm sorry. I'm not into it.
Okay. Can everyone see the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
I see the PowerPoint real big.
Wonderful. And then hopefully the PowerPoint's big and then the people, can you still see the people?
I see, yep, I see Laura with the Tiger King. I see Jim Voris. I think it's just a photo of him. And then Catherine, I see your name. I don't see your picture.
Yeah, I don't think I have my picture on this Zoom account right now.
Is it better for us to put a picture on? I thought, I did the MPU meeting and I've done a couple of other Zoom meetings and I really enjoy seeing people. So.
Let's see. For some reason, my video, whenever I'm the host, my video doesn't like to work. And I don't know why that is, but I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to be looking crazy trying to manage all the participants.
Let's got your name there.
Yeah, hopefully we can get everyone who's speaking will pop in early so I can unmute them, and then everyone else will be. Laura, you might want to mention this to everyone. 2 things: that this is being recorded, and then the other thing, that if people do want to speak, that they need to, whenever the time is appropriate, you can kind of determine this in the meeting, but that they should raise their hand, and then you tell me who to unmute. Is that it? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we raise our hand?
So it's under more at the very top. Just press raise hand.
All right, I just switched it to, I've been doing Team more than Zoom.
That's what I've been using too.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure this out.
Wait, when you enter in the room, does it say, who's cookie guy at cookies.com?
It's just someone who entered the room. Their microphone is off, so I'm not sure who it is, but they have the ability to change their name if they want. And so you can, if you want to talk, Laura, you can talk with people since your microphone is on. Everyone who enters, their microphone's automatically going to be off, so they should be able to chat and answer questions.
Hi, cookie guy. Who are you? Can you send me a message? I'm gonna, or in the chat, please. Wait, is that Steve?
It looks like Cookie. Wait. Oh yeah, Cookie Guy is Steve.
What kind of fake email is that? Steve, unmute yourself.
He can't. I have to unmute him. Do you want me to unmute him?
Yeah.
Sure. And then it looks like Sam is here.
Steve, really? cookieguy.com? He's not listening. Just mute him.
Okay. And if anyone is in the call and they can't turn their microphone on, please just chat us. We have it automatically set so everyone's microphones and cameras are automatically disabled. So
Also, this is being recorded, as you can see at the very top. Do we have anybody new?
I'm admitting people as they come in.
Okay.
Rob.
Hi, y'all. Just a reminder that you're all being muted upon entry, and this is being recorded. All right, y'all. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to check on some chicken.
Hi, this is Catherine Mancy. I'm the GPNA secretary for everyone who's come in. Unless I unmute you, you are automatically muted. And this is being recorded. Hey, Laura, will you test something for me? Are you unable to mute yourself? No. Okay.
Now I'm unmuted.
Okay. So it looks like since I'm the host, I have to unmute people. So if you mute yourself, I have to unmute you.
Okay.
Carla, whenever we just get to your part, I'll just unmute you, if that sounds okay. Or I can unmute you now. It's up to you.
Oh, okay. You know, after you unmuted me, there was a little, a picture came up and said, would you like to unmute yourself? So,
Perfect.
yeah, so.
Yes, Steve, we have it so that the moderator has to unmute people. And the reason we have it like that is because of the people Zoom bombing meetings and jumping in saying inappropriate things. So we're being cautious.
Yeah, that actually happened to town hall we were on, and it was really ugly. I want to say it was really ugly.
All right, y'all. I think we're about to get started. Okay, so let's see, we're like 17 people. Not bad. The agenda is on probably where you got this invite, so just pull it up. It's a Word document. I want to say everybody is muted. If you want to talk, please press raise your hand, and you can do that by going up to the more button and then to raise hand. And so that's how we're going to vote on our item 2, which is 300 Woodward. All right, y'all. Well, do you think we should? Yeah, let's give it a minute, I guess.
Yeah, and I just want to note for everyone to please utilize the chat also.
It's true. Do you guys like, is the Tiger King like pixelized right now or no?
What was your question? Yes, we can still see the Tiger King.
Yeah.
Is it pixelized or like, is it like regular?
It looks like he's right behind you.
Oh, good. Like I'm petting the tiger.
Like you're petting the
I
tiger.
wanted this just for this meeting, so I really hope you enjoy it. Like, look at that mustache. Wait, wherever.
Yeah, don't put the Tiger King guy, just the tiger.
I mean, like, that's my real king, though, right there.
Right now, I'm going to take a picture of you right beside him.
Do it, like me, like looking up at. Wait, I can't do it the right way because I don't know how green screens work. Yeah. There was an NPU meeting where Ed Gilgore just put pictures of puppies in the background for like the whole meeting, like 10
cute.
different ones. Yeah, it was so funny.
I took pictures of every background.
Kathy, Todd, you definitely need to watch The Tiger King. It'll be the best time of your life.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Okay, y'all. So just a reminder, this is being recorded. It says at the very top. And we're going to go ahead and start. Oh, everyone is muted. So if you would like to speak, you can go up to the top and go to more and press raise hand. And that's how we're going to vote later on. You can always chat with us too. We can all see the chat. So, or if you want to chat with an individual, it's right there. All right, I'm going to turn the meeting over to David and Carla. Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate everything you do for us. All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome. I'll start, David. I have like pages and pages and pages of a report that I've written up to give to y'all. And I don't know if I'm really in the mood to do it because of what the governor did yesterday while we were in the council meeting. And we were ratifying $1 million for children's food program, $1 million for senior food programs, $1.5 million for homelessness. We've got a hotel that we're putting homeless people in. We've got like a 10-page response for the homeless that we're working on. We have $1.5 million, which has pretty much all that money has gone out for the small business community. Yesterday, when the governor announced that he was starting to open the state up, it just changed everything. So I don't really know exactly where we are. I talked to David earlier today. He feels a lot like I do, or exactly like I do, on it's just too early. And really the only thing, my update now is, and I think most of y'all know, I've got a bachelor's in nursing, and I'm on the board of health, and healthcare is just, it runs in my veins. And I really believe that you should do what's best for you and what's best for your family. And I'll help anyone in any way that I can with that. But as you know, the governor is also not letting jurisdictions do anything wider or more narrow than what he's doing. David, I know you've got some things to report on, because I know y'all are doing some things at the state to try to talk to the governor.
Yeah, so I expect most or all of you have seen what the governor did yesterday. The governor has set a sunset on Georgia's shelter-in-place order. The governor is permitting businesses to start opening, including restaurants early next week, barbershops, tattoo parlors. There's been a lot of attention around this, both in our area and across the country. There's been a lot of criticism. I've had some criticism of it. I know that Councilwoman Smith has as well. I was on a call this morning with the CEO of Grady Hospital. The CEO relayed some information that we don't know if we're at the peak. And secondly, Governor Kemp based a lot of this decision on the fact that we have hospital beds. But I want to be really clear. The CEO of Grady told me this morning that the hospital beds they're referring to are at the Georgia World Congress Center. They set up a field hospital there. So if you're talking about a lot of extra capacity at Emory or Piedmont or Grady, that's not where it's at. Okay. This is still a life or death thing. My caucus in the House, we wrote a letter immediately to Governor Kemp, asking him to follow the advice of the health experts and not lift the shelter in place, to try to find other ways that we can help small businesses, but not to risk people's lives on this. The leading health experts are still urging us to shelter in place. Even one of the health experts at the White House was asked how people were going to comply with Kemp's loosened order and still keep us safe from COVID-19. And she said, I have no idea how people can do that. I have no idea how people can do that in a barbershop, in a tattoo parlor. Experts now are predicting that we're going to have a second peak. I'm really of the mindset that we need the federal government to put more money into helping business and helping workers. I own a small business. I know a lot of y'all do as well. We need help. The money dried up. I'm not sure that it all went to small businesses, but we need more help. People that are, in danger, and they're potentially going to lose their apartment, their home. They need help as well. But opening up businesses is probably going to require us to shelter in place in some measure or another longer, or go back to a complete shelter in place, because things are going to go back up significantly. I want everybody to know too that if you watch the AJC very closely, we have not been able to get all the data out of the hospitals on the number of cases, the number of suspected cases. Georgia is in the very bottom of testing in the country. If you get my newsletter, I sent one out this morning. The only way to do this safely to reopen the economy is if we have expanded testing. But we have two problems because our testing is so limited. We don't know the extent of the problem. I mean, we all have stories of people that we personally know that very likely had COVID-19 and didn't get a diagnosis. One of them was my law partner, who an urgent care doctor said, yeah, I'm sure you've got COVID-19, but I cannot give you a test. You cannot go get a test anywhere right now. So that the extent of the problem is significantly underreported. The other thing that affects us south of Interstate 20 is the Department of Public Health for the state of Georgia has not been collecting data on race, ethnicity, and other issues. So we know that right now African Americans are dying at twice the rate of COVID-19 of other groups, but the broader testing, which is still not enough that the state ramped up, is not asking for any racial or ethnic data. So we have a healthcare system that was struggling at best to start with. Rural hospitals have been closing for a variety of reasons, largely because we didn't take the expanded Medicaid dollars from the federal government under the Affordable Care Act, which is $1 billion a year, so it's not insignificant. We've been flagging. This has been one of my biggest fights at the state capitol, is to expand access. You see that the lack of healthcare access already had us struggling from the lack of rural hospitals to having the #1 maternal mortality rate in the entire country. And then you lay this on top of it, and it sure didn't make it any better. Grady is looking at a $70 million shortfall right now just on what they've already done at the hospital addressing COVID-19. So I'm very concerned. We have taken a position to ask Governor Kemp to not run too far too fast and to be prudent and to follow the advice of healthcare experts. What this really means to us, though, and I want to bring it home to Atlanta and to Grant Park, the governor's order preempted local ordinances and regulations. So when the mayor did her shelter-in-place order, the governor's order supersedes, but it actually wipes away anything to the contrary in Mayor Bottom's order. This happens a lot at state level stuff. So let me give you an example. If Decatur or the city of Atlanta wanted to decriminalize marijuana, the state law would preempt it and take control, and the cities would not be able to do that. The fallback here is, if the governor won't change his mind, is to empower the cities and the counties to take care of their own citizens. But as it is right now, the governor's order preempts, meaning it basically wipes away the local orders from the mayors and the county commissioners. So that's our fault. Our first request was to do what the health experts want us to do and find other ways that we can protect people's livelihoods. The second one is to let cities and counties make this decision. If you believe in local control, let people close by, locally elected officials make these decisions. We haven't done it yet. What we're looking at as far as the General Assembly is we had to suspend when this came about. We're going to be going back in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. We're not exactly sure. They're trying to put the protocols in place. But we've already drafted legislation that we could tack on to another bill that's already passed one chamber, and that would remove the governor's rights to preempt local control to protect citizens. That's one thing we're doing. The other thing is some voting rights stuff to make sure that absentee ballots, if they are rejected for whatever reason, that the entity that rejects an absentee ballot has to go and call the individual that sent in the ballot as soon as possible to give them time to remedy it. Also, additional funding for vote by mail and a few other things. And I'll say vote by mail is extremely important because if we would have had the election on May 24th that we were supposed to have, Fulton could not staff probably a third of their precincts. It would be a huge problem. So we've got to work on expanded vote by mail things. And on that point, you should have already received your request for an absentee ballot. It's not a ballot, it's a request for an absentee ballot. Everyone in Georgia should have gotten that. If you didn't, it's okay. You can still go to the Fulton Board of Registration and Elections. You can fill it out, and you can actually email your absentee ballot request, and they will mail one. We're looking at an early June primary right now. I would urge y'all to do that as soon as possible so that your voice will be counted. But I've heard from a lot of people in Grant Park and a lot of people in House District 59 that are very, very, very frustrated with Governor Kemp's decision. I share your frustration. I want to do everything we can to help protect people's livelihoods, but we have to protect people's lives first. We've got to beat this before we can grow our economy back the way it's supposed to be. If we do a half measure, if we pull back too early, it's going to create greater economic pain in the long run, and people are going to die in the process. So I wish we would follow the guidance of those that know what they're talking about when it comes to public health. I'm fighting as hard as I can to do that. I would urge you to reach out to the governor's office directly. The more voices that are advocating, the better. But the governor has unique powers, just like the president has unique powers. And this is a result of, the last election. So we have to largely take care of ourselves and our communities right now. And I hope we can all do that. I would love to answer questions. Carla, did you have some more things you wanted to cover?
Well, the numbers are increasing. We're now at noon, we were at 799 deaths. Now, this is for the whole state, but we're at 800 now. We've been over 19,000 for a minute. I think we've gone to around 20,000 now, and the numbers are increasing. So, and it's like you were saying, I know that the economy is important, but our lives are more important. We can't spend money if we're dead. So, I feel very strongly that, but like I said, my advice is to do what's best for you and your family. Like I said, I'll help you with anything I can. If y'all want to contact me, I'll help you any way I can. And I sort of feel like, that Jaws movie where the mayor tells everybody, get in the water, get in the water. That's how I feel today. So it's just not been a good day.
Yeah.
For those that have questions for Representative Dreyer and Councilperson Carla Smith, can you press the raise hand button? If you go to the top of your screen, go to more, and then press raise hand. So Robert, I know that you have a question. Catherine, can you unmute your husband? Go ahead, Robert.
Oh, that's okay. I raised my hand before Representative Dreyer put his website in there. So I was just wondering about the newsletter, but he put it in. Thank you. Thank you, Representative Dreyer.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. Appreciate it.
Anyone else have any questions? We got a lot of requests to add your newsletter, but I think that's what everybody's questions are about. Oh yeah, you saw that, David.
Yeah, please sign up. But also, if you want this newsletter I sent, please email me ddreyer@gmail.com, and I'll get you a copy.
Eric Davis has a question. Catherine, can you unmute Eric? Thank you.
Hi, David. Hi, Carla. Thanks for taking up these issues and sharing this update with us. David, I was wondering, are there any groups that can sue the governor over this order?
So what we would have to do, it's a good question. So what we would have to do is we would have to sue the governor to make him exercise powers. So under Georgia law, that is, it's called a mandamus action. You're requiring an elected official to exercise authority that they should exercise. it's incredibly hard. It's incredibly hard, as you can imagine, under normal circumstances. You wouldn't want lawsuits over minor decisions, but unfortunately, where we need it here, we don't have it. There's a second way to go about it, Eric, and that's declaratory judgment action to show that an elected official is doing something unconstitutional. Our Georgia Supreme Court about 4 years ago made a terrible, terrible decision, and they said folks can't do that if the government doesn't allow them to sue. We have passed laws. We had one pass the House this year, and we passed one each of the last 2 years, but the governor has vetoed the laws that would allow the citizens to sue the government. So the idea of sovereign immunity, that if you were to, sue the government over everything, the government would go out of business. So, I mean, there's some policy behind it, but we're way, way, way far on the other side. I have not heard any credible way that we can sue the governor or the government right now, Eric, but I'll keep my ears out, and I'm in some of the legal political circles, so I'll let you know if I hear anything, because I'd be happy to take part in that.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Audra, do you have a question? Oh, can you unmute Audra real quick? Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Hi, thank you. No, I just wanted to ask Representative Dreyer, thank you and Carla and the mayor for standing up for your citizens. What are the Republican representatives, how do they feel about their areas being opened? I've seen some mayors that are just not happy about it, but I'd be curious to see what the chatter is in the State House.
It's a great question. Publicly, I've seen a small handful of Republican state legislators applaud and push the governor to do what he's doing. But by and large, most Republican legislators are privately saying they're very, very concerned. They were concerned that the governor didn't do this fast enough, that the governor made decisions like preempting local control, which we saw open the beaches on Georgia's coast. And this just happened yesterday, and I haven't touched base with many of them, but I mean, even before the governor did this, I could count 10 or 12 Republican state legislators that were very, very upset with the governor not doing enough to protect people's health. So I'm imagining that's even larger than it is now. What really scares me, Audra, is the day before the governor did this, we saw like a far right militia group protesting up at Canton, and the next day we get this press conference that released that order. And it's really scary to me to think that the 4 to 5% of the most far out people in the whole state are driving this agenda.
Right.
But I mean, it's a plausible conclusion, at least, Audra.
I mean, on top of his remark that he made a week or two earlier about just, this game changer, understanding that you can catch, it just was like this snowball effect that I'm getting calls from all over the country. Are you sure you still want to live in the state of Georgia?
Please don't leave.
Yeah, please don't leave.
I won't, but it is really, really unfortunate to think that it's a small minority that are driving such major life-changing decisions.
Well, this November there's a presidential election. November 2 years from now there'll be a governor's election. And I would guess everyone on here voted, but if we could get 10 more people to vote, we could get more rational voices at the table.
I'll say one last thing. It was as sad as it was to see the people in Milwaukee have to go out and vote under these conditions. It was heartening to see how passionate and how determined they were to literally put their lives on the line to just change power. I hope we see that in Georgia.
Thanks, Audra. Me too.
And Audra, I looked on my phone here while y'all were talking just to find this. I had someone email me yesterday, and I think we're kind of all going to be birds of a feather in this group, but I didn't even realize that there were groups, and I had a constituent that emailed me, and he said he wasn't sure who to contact, but he felt that it was important. There was some group called Reopen Georgia Operation Gridlock that was planning, I don't know if they still are, I didn't even know groups like this existed, but they were planning on coming to the Capitol Friday. So I think they were planning on having one of those protests like they did up in Michigan, where they were all gonna honk their horn and, you know, so like you said, David, they had some kind of a protest and then the governor comes out. So I kind of wondered about that also. Of course, we all know about the unemployment, you know, they're going to come up short on that. And so that's kind of where I think a lot of us are putting it. Audra, please don't leave.
I'm not going anywhere.
We can't lose people when
Not for
need,
the remainder of this year.
we've got to keep our good people here and we've got to vote. Like David said,
Yeah.
we've got to vote in this presidential election. So you've got to stay until after 2021. So by then,
I hope you guys want me to stay forever, but I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
Thank you.
I think Rick Hudson has, there, Rick.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask David if he's he's partially opening the businesses this Friday. Does that take the state of emergency off? Or when does that power run out? And when are y'all supposed to vote on it again?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, the day we went down several weeks ago to vote on Governor Kemp, I'll try not to make this too long, but it's important. The day we went down to give Governor emergency powers, it was early on this, but a lot of us knew what was coming. We knew even then that schools weren't going to reopen this year, and we knew how contagious this was and how rapidly it spread. We showed up with what was supposed to take 1 hour. The Democratic leaders in the House, the Republican leaders in the House, and the Senate negotiated a package that would give Governor Kemp emergency powers for 30 days. When we got there that morning, the Senate said they wanted to give Governor Kemp perpetual emergency powers. We waited there 8 hours that day. We had to give the governor emergency powers to stop the spread of this. We waited in close contact for 8 hours trying to get something hammered out. The compromise was we would give him emergency declaration that didn't expire, and we would show back up in 30 days. We filed the paperwork. We had a commitment from the speaker that we would go back in 30 days and revisit it. That 30 days came and gone, and the speaker told everybody he was not going to allow everyone to come back into the Capitol. It was really discouraging. I will say this, it's too early to pull back the emergency powers, because what we need the governor to use more emergency powers right now. We do have to pass a budget by June 30th. It's constitutionally required. We don't have a budget for next year. Folks, that's going to be a tough process. It's going to be a tough process. We're going to have to cut the budget. It's not going to be pretty. But we are going to fulfill our constitutional duty to do that. When we are there, sometime before June 30th, we will have an opportunity to revisit this. If we're tacking on language onto a budget or another bill that's very important to the Republican leadership to rein in these powers and to give more authority to the mayors and the county folks, then that's what we'll do. We'll be there until it happens. If they need our votes on the budget, and I expect they will, they're certainly not going to get my vote on the budget unless we get a good path forward that's fair for everyone.
All right. Who else needs to talk? Eric, you had a follow-up question?
Yeah, hi. So I was just curious if David or Carla, if you knew anything about the Fast and Furious deal that's going on interstates. I'm sure you guys can hear it from your houses just like we can, but it sounds like an army of motorcycles racing up and down the interstates. And The few times I've been out just during the day, it seems like traffic's a little bit insane, and it doesn't seem like there's any real effort to enforce traffic rules and laws by either the Georgia State Patrol or the City of Atlanta Police Department.
Carla, you want to start?
Yeah, I don't know why, but you know, when there's not a lot, when the traffic's not heavy, I guess they're just out, sort of like when the cat's away, the mice will play or whatever. And of course, they're the idiots. And so the police are, and we're trying to keep APD safe. So if they're sort of caught between a catch-22, if they go and pull them over, or if they get into a high-speed chase with them and someone else gets hurt, because it's like that, I shouldn't say this, especially on this public forum, but it's like the idiots are all out there. And even with our police officers, if they are, because we haven't changed any of our procedures at the city. So if they are exposed to COVID, then they have to go home and be quarantined for 14 to 21 days. So we're not just losing police officers that are sick, we're also losing police officers that, like, if they go to arrest someone, they have to get close enough to them. And then if they test them once they get in the cell and they test positive for COVID, then that police officer and anyone that came in contact with that perpetrator, they have to go into quarantine. And so we don't want to lose all of our public safety personnel trying to chase down the bad guys. That's not the answer that the chief would give you. But if you have any problems, you can call 911 and you can call me, and I can text the majors of both Zone 3 and Zone 6.
So I'll put in a word with Georgia State Patrol, Eric. It's out of control. I will say this, before this happened, we had a different sort of problem, and that was Georgia State Patrol was being more reckless on high-speed chases through our neighborhood. They almost hit a family coming out of Wesley. They did one through Cabbagetown. Reckless high-speed chases in residential areas that put people at risk. You're talking about the interstate, and that's fair. Yeah, I'll pass that along. It's worth doing. There is a concern on arresting folks right now, putting folks in prisons and jails where they could spread COVID-19 to others. So it's a very difficult time. But I would expect law enforcement personnel to have solutions. So I'll pass that along.
And there's no court right now. So if you go to jail, you're not going to get out for a really long time because there's no court. So they are letting people out on the no cash bail, but I don't know. That's just a really tough one. I will say I have been talking to both of our majors, not daily, but almost daily, because of the bad actors that are out in the world.
All right, Kathy, Todd has a quick question. Catherine, can you unmute Kathy?
Am I unmuted?
You are.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Carla. I sent Carla an email about 10 days ago, and it's not the highway, but it's Boulevard Southeast. Is somebody going to have to die? Is a pedestrian going to have to get hit on Boulevard before the police will stop the speeders? So there's more people at home, which means more people with strollers, more people walking their dogs, more people jogging on the sidewalks. And I live on Boulevard, and yes, there's less cars, but the cars that are there are going 50 and 60 miles an hour. It's crazy.
Yeah, Kathy and I talk. Just part of y'all, we've really been doing a lot of work. One of the things that I was going to talk about was yesterday during the full council meeting, we did pass Vision Zero. And that is where one of the things that's in the entire city of Atlanta is now going to be 25 miles an hour. Now, they've got to get out and change the signs everywhere, but we've already got the signs on Boulevard. But it's going to take about 9 months to fully implement that. But they've done studies, and please just tell everyone that you get where you're going by driving 25 miles an hour at the same rate that you do by speeding up and slowing down to stop and speeding up and slowing down. So if everybody will just drive 25 miles an hour, it makes it more pedestrian friendly, bike friendly. It brings in all modes of transportation. And so we are working to make the whole city 25 miles an hour, and then it will be easier for the police to then write a ticket, and then, they won't have to go to court and prove that Boulevard was, because, part of a state highway and all that mess. Y'all know that we do have the pedestrian beacons coming, and that was something that I was working on, and I was trying to get to, let me grab this piece of paper here, hold on. I was trying to get to people's houses to let them know, and Kathy, you're one of the houses. We're putting
I know they've made the speed limit 25 on Boulevard, and it's not working. So why make the speed limit 25 for the rest of the city? Where's the evidence that that's going to work?
No, we could talk to some traffic engineers. I could bring some traffic engineers in, but I'm
willing to have them put one of those big electric things that says your speed is 55 miles an hour, speed limit 25, with the light. They can plug it in on my front porch and use my electricity.
All right, well, we've got the beacons. Did y'all notice the beacon that went in at the Beltline?
No.
Talking about the beacon, the pedestrian beacon. We've got 2 of those coming on Boulevard. They're coming soon. One is at 507, which is close to you, Kathy. What's your address? 620 or something like that?
547.
Okay, we've got one coming in at 507. I was going to go try to talk to the neighbors there, but then COVID hit. This was one of the last emails I sent on March the 12th.
So that must be closer to CVS.
Yes, it is. And it's going to be mid-block. The traffic engineers have figured out that if you put those beacons mid-block, then the pedestrians don't have to watch for cars at corners. And so they're mid-block. And then there's another one that's going in close to the 800 block of Boulevard.
Because I live in the stretch between I-20 and the park where there are no stoplights. So that's where everybody gets up all their speed. If they hit those lights green, they're coming through there with no light at all, and that's where they get up all their speed.
That's where we're putting one of the beacons. So we're going to have a pedestrian beacon. So Kathy, just go out there and press that button as much as you want to slow cars down.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions for Carla and David before we move on?
I've got one more thing. I got a text.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Got a fellow Grant Parker that's going to be on Fox 5 tonight at 10 and 11. It's Laura Goddard. She is she owns a salon right there over on Ormond by Mediterranean. And so I've been talking to her because she's not ready to open. She's trying to be a responsible citizen. And then, of course, when the governor announced that yesterday, people that when they cut your hair, they're in your face. So close to your face. So anyway, we've got a fellow neighbor that's going to be on the news tonight at 10 and 11 on Fox 5. So we know she'll be saying the right things. Again, that birds of a feather thing. And then again, please do what's best for you and your families.
Yeah, please.
Do not let the mayor of the Jaws movie tell you what to do, and don't go into the water.
Well, thank you both. Go ahead. Sorry, David.
No, please stay safe. And thank you, Laura. Thank you, Catherine, for hosting. We appreciate everything you're doing. We've got a great community, and we're blessed a lot more than a lot of folks are.
We're so thankful for you guys, and we really appreciate you coming on. I know that it takes a lot of time, and we're really thankful.
Happy to do it.
All right, y'all.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, do you want to put your contact information just in case anybody has a question?
Sure. Do you want us to write it in the chat?
Well, yeah, that would be great.
You want me just to tell it, or how do you want to do it?
Write it in the chat, because then people can copy and paste it. It's probably best.
Okay. Or I may just abuse someone. There goes David. Yeah. Okay, let me move some of this around. And y'all, I'm just going to give you my home phone.
And you really do answer it because I called it last week.
Yeah, that's where I am. So I'm going to stay here. And so feel free to call me at home for anything. And because this is where I'm at. So, all right. Don't hesitate to call me for anything.
Oh, thank you so much, Carla. Thank you so much, David. Please, reach out to us if you have any issues or you want to talk about anything. We really appreciate you.
Will do.
Right back at you. All right. Bye.
Bye. All right, moving on. Oh, wait, hold on. Catherine just sent me a text message. Is there something I missed? No. Oh, wait, Rebecca, did you have a question? Can someone unmute? Oh, Rebecca, you have questions about building permits. Do you have it for David and Carla or Rick Hudson? Catherine, can you unmute Rebecca?
Hey, this is Catherine. Rebecca doesn't have a microphone by her name, so I don't know that it's set up.
Okay.
But Rebecca, I should have just enabled you if you can.
All right. Rebecca, do you want to just send us a message in the chat and we can help you figure it out later? Okay, let's keep moving. Item 1, public safety. Is Chris Newman on this call? Newman? Wait, does anybody have Chris Newman's number so we can see if it's him? Six 456. He's on here, but I don't know if he is. All right, no Chris Newman. We'll keep moving.
6456, the last 4 digits.
Yeah.
I don't see him on here.
All right. Let's keep moving. Okay, Woodward. Rick Hudson, are you ready to take this away for us? Catherine, will
Okay,
you unmute Rick? Yeah.
I'm
perfect.
here. Okay, 300 Woodward Avenue. This is over behind the Leonard. It is a narrow lot. They have applied for a variance to increase the allowable size of an accessory structure from 30% to 42% of the main dwelling to add a second floor to the existing accessory structure. Basically what this is they have a garage in the back and they want to put an accessory structure above the garage. Just to clarify for everyone, the difference between an accessory structure and an accessory dwelling unit is the accessory structure does not have a stove in it. It can have everything else in it, but it can't have a stove or a way to cook food. Microwave, yes. Stove, no. But this is for the accessory structure, so there's no stove there. And it comes out of committee with a recommendation to support. So I'm going to ask everybody, please, to raise your hands if you support this variance.
Okay.
And Catherine,
should we go
if you
down?
can count. Well,
Yeah,
I think
actually,
Catherine
I think
can count if we raise our hands.
Well, I thought that we agreed that we were going to just do, yeah, everybody can raise their hands. So, and then I'll go through and look. Okay, yeah, keep going. Oh, Catherine, can you unmute Steve Carr? And can you unmute all the cell phone numbers? Because I don't know who they are. Steve Carr is 8666. I know that.
This is David Mitchell. I vote yes. I second the motion. I second the motion.
We got you, Dave.
All
Thank you.
Okay, and all of the cell phone numbers are currently unmuted if you want to vote by voice.
Okay. Catherine, you got that?
Yes.
Cool beans. All right. Thank you. Their board of, any opposed? Raise your hand. I'm sorry. I'm not used to virtual voting. So if anybody that voted in favor would please lower their hands. And then if you're opposed to it, please raise it. Okay, are we good, Catherine?
Yes, and Laura, did you also get that?
Thank
Laura's
you.
pulling a Lizzo.
Look at my Tiger King.
I know, I
Wait,
see
did
that.
we get it? Did we get enough yeses? Because I don't think that we
Yeah.
did. Okay. I'll just go through and call those people later because I have no idea who they are.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Somebody had a question about AUDC. Rebecca?
Okay, yeah. I'm working with her in chat.
Oh, good, good, good. Rebecca, are
but-
you comfortable with everything? Are you happy?
She's asking about front porch repairs. They received
Okay.
a stop work today.
Okay.
All right. Gotcha. The only other thing I wanted to say was the BZA hearing date for the 300 Woodward is May 7th, 2020. Also, our next meeting will be the first Tuesday of May. It will be on a Microsoft Teams meeting. Stephanie and I will get that information up on the website, and we'll also pin it to the top of the GPNA page so that everybody can be in attendance. We have a couple of things going on. We've got a developer coming in that is kicking tires. There is an old church in part of our neighborhood that they would like to change to NC7C. It's a single lot, so it's nothing big, but it's not being used and it's currently blighted. But they're coming in kicking the tires on that, so they'll be asking for opinions only at our next land use and zoning meeting. We'll also be hearing from the 1015 Boulevard people as they move forward and flesh out their request, looking at the possibility of having townhomes at their entrance. Other than that, I look forward to seeing you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. We really appreciate everything you do. Okay, is there anything else that we needed to talk about? Item 3, which is the eviction prevention assistance for families of Nicholas House. Catherine, is that up there on the screen?
Hey, we have a raised hand.
Oh, awesome.
What's the address of the church lot?
Rick, is Rick muted? Can you unmute Rick so he can answer?
Right now, I'm not at liberty to release that information because they're coming and kicking tires. So I'll let them tell us when they come see us this month or next month.
I'm sure people would like to have a site visit.
You can have a site visit after they tell us. This is no formal application. Okay, we'll have time when we have a formal application.
All right. Okay. So, the eviction prevention at Nicholas House, which is on the screen. Norma, which I don't, is Norma on here? Probably not, but she asked me to share this with you. Nicholas House is obviously facing some issues related to COVID-19. So they've expanded their program and they wanted to let the neighbors of Grant Park know. If you want me to send you this information, I'm happy to pass it along. But you can see you have to be 18 and at risk for eviction, which right now the city has paused evictions, but you know how much longer. I know that I don't think that that's gonna go on for very much longer, especially with the governor putting everybody back to work or encouraging people to go back to work. Can you skip to the next page, Catherine?
I wanted to add to that, Laura, that the mayor pausing eviction is only in public housing.
Okay.
And
okay.
And so that Nicholas House has been really hit hard with this, and sorry, that's my child. Go ahead and go over the Boulevard location, but everything else is good.
So if you know a family that's at risk for eviction, please call. The number's right there. Again, if you want to talk about it, I'm happy to send you all this information. And Norma has a new caseworker, and then we'll, help you out. I do know that they're definitely accepting donations right now. A lot of their families could run out of money as soon as next month. So if you're thinking about donating some of that stimulus check, they're a great worthy cause in Grant Park. I just dropped the charger. All right. Does anybody else want to talk? Raise your hand. Anybody else want to make a comment? You can always text me too, like David Mitchell is every second. Steve Carr, do you have a comment?
I do. We have an NPUW meeting tomorrow, 7:30.
Wait, is it tomorrow? I thought it's next week. It's next Wednesday.
Well, I have not checked my calendar, but I did talk with the chair, Jonathan Barheit, and he said tomorrow. So supposed to be the fourth Wednesday.
Oh.
I have not checked my calendar, so if anybody would or could check their calendar and verify
it is next
that.
week. It's April 22nd. You're right. I'm wrong. Okay, awesome.
Then that's tomorrow.
Yeah. So if anybody wants the Zoom information, just email me and I'm happy to forward it to you. Hudson?
And there will be telephone access to the Zoom meeting.
Correct. Thank you. All right. Rick Hudson, what's your comment?
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to give a shout out to all of my other small business owners that live in our neighborhood. As many of you understand, a lot of us didn't make the cutoff for the first round of funding. And hopefully you've got your applications in for the second round of funding, either with your bank or with a third party. I found a third party called Lendio. That's lendio.com. And Lendio shops your application with many other small banks that are SBA corresponding banks. And that's a requirement for the PPP loan. If you can, if you go to lendio.com and put your application in there, that's just one more avenue where a big bank might run out of money faster than some of these small banks. So they may be in there longer getting funding, and especially for a lot of people that are not requesting a lot of funding, like Shake Shack and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
Thank you. All right, David Mitchell, I've unmuted you. Proceed.
Thank you very much, Laura. I just wanted to remind everyone that on Thursday at 7 o'clock, Atlanta Preservation is continuing its webinar series and having Ted Barris discuss the role of medics throughout the last 200 years and culminating in showing why preservation is culturally important. This is, of course, done in the comfort of your home. I will have Laura send out the link for the Eventbrite, but you can do this and you'll find it a very nice way to spend an hour or two with Ted Barris, who's written 19 books. This is the most current one, and it's really positive. And in lieu of everything that we're dealing with, to have someone talk to you for quite some time about how medics and people who have been first responders have been going into very complicated situations again and again and resolving the issue, I think should serve as a point of hope that this too shall come to pass. Thank you very much, Laura.
David, I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you do. I'm really grateful for you. And I know the neighbors of Grant Park are as well. I know, I am. All right, anyone else? Oh, Steve Carr, do you have something to say?
Sure. A couple of months or so, I saw an Atlanta preservation book, and David Mitchell was prominently involved in putting the thing together. So
You're very
kudos
kind,
to David.
Steve, and that's correct.
Well, you don't
Wow,
deserve
David.
it, so I'm going to give it
Good
to
job.
you.
Very kind. And I want to tell everyone my son is beating the hell out of my hands with a Frisbee while I'm doing this. So I'm just letting you know that 397 Augusta Avenue is creating purple hands from a Frisbee from a 14-year-old.
I'll be right out there. All right, y'all. Well, again, if anybody has anything to say, put on the chat. Oh, mute people, Catherine. That sounds terrible. Okay, awesome. Oh, David, thank you for your go dogs. All right, anybody else have anything to say other than you can find all of our contact informations right there. You can always call me. My cell phone is 404-403-5888. I always answer the phone because I'm bored. Let's be honest, I'm only watching Tiger King so many times. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want any to do it. Oh, Robert, do you have a question?
I just want to let everybody know if you're bored and you want something to do, I'd love to get any articles or any kind of content that's neighborhood appropriate for the Porch Press. And I can almost guarantee you that it'll make it into print and be out in the next issue. So just let me know. I'll put my email in the chat. Honestly, if you've always wanted to be a writer and a journalist, now's the time. So just send anything you got over to me. Thanks.
Thank you so much for always doing that. We really appreciate it. All right, y'all. Oh, wait, Paul, Simo, do you have something to say about demolitions?
The deadline for Porch Press articles is the 25th of every month.
Thank you, Steve. All right, do you want to unmute Paul Simo? Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'm unmuted. Can people hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I've just been tight. If anybody wants to go back with some of my comments there, our committee is still getting calls from people across the neighborhood. I know people are getting antsy and getting out and ripping siding off of houses and doing some projects and things. Just be aware that we are still getting calls. We are still here to protect the integrity of our National Register and local historic district. Inspections and the city are still active and they are giving out stop work orders. Unfortunately, right now in April, AUDC is not meeting. So if anything does require design review, it'll have to wait until the second or fourth Wednesday in May. Those are going to be extremely long agendas, I'm sure, when they finally come up. But get your projects into queue. I put a link. If you go in the comments above, you'll find the link to the city planning department. They are taking applications now online, which is really great. They never did that before. You always had to come down to City Hall. But follow that process and make sure your projects are, if they're substantial enough, they still have to be approved by the AUDC. So thanks all. We're
Thank
out
you.
here watching our district. We've got to keep that integrity alive.
All right, y'all. Thanks again. Wait, hold on. Let me double check and make sure nobody else has something to say. Oh, Steve Carr, one last time. Yes.
No, technology unmuted my phone. I did not do anything. It happened by itself.
Oh, wow. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for attending our meeting, our virtual conference. We really appreciate every one of you. Again, send us an email or give us a call if you have any questions. Thanks again for everybody that joined. All right. Have a wonderful night. How do I end this meeting?
Oakland Cemetery, did you have something?
Oh, wait.
Oh, am I muted?
No.
Oh, okay. Hi. I just wanted to let y'all know that we are moving forward with our plan to construct the East Gate. It's been pushed back a little bit, of course, because of the current situation. But we also want to let everyone know that because the cemetery is a city park, it is open. So as long as you're practicing safe social distancing, you are welcome to visit. But the visitor center and everything with the foundation are closed. So just keep that in mind. There are no restrooms that are open on site. But we hope everyone is staying safe and doing well.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? All right. Thank you so much again, y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Catherine, I'm going to end the meeting. Have a good evening.